Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored Match Build-up show ahead of Liverpool's journey all the way down south to Fulham in the Premier League on Wednesday night. I have with me Chris Pajak and John Machin to talk about this game in advance. Chris, first off, is this a chance for Liverpool to send a message to the Premier League or another potential disaster waiting to happen?
It's both, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's got to be both. I think, as far as the Liverpool squad will be concerned, we've got to put West Brom behind us. You know, we beat Everton, we smashed them out the ballpark. And then we drew at West Brom. We've just smashed top of the table, previous table toppers Arsenal.
Then top of the table, yeah.
And now I think the squad will be thinking, we can't let that happen again. It's happened too many times now. We need to just go out there. Fulham are going to be tired from that game against Man United. They worked their socks off, didn't they, against Man United? Yeah. And they've had a day less rest. We've had the early kick-off on the Saturday. Everything's going in our favour, which is why we'll probably lose.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, isn't it, Dad? That, you know, I think after 20 minutes we were discussing about the Arsenal game. I had real fears. It was that the game was over against Arsenal after half an hour, and then I already started thinking about Fulham, and I was thinking the tempo with which we're playing this game, we're going to be wrecked by the time Fulham comes around. But as Chris says, fortunately they've had a very tough encounter themselves, haven't they, relatively speaking?
I think we played things. We played. Rodgers actually played a better game, I think, against Arsenal than Everton. In that, I don't think we expended quite as much energy. I think the way he set his team up with Sterling on one side and Suarez on the other did help conserve energy, and he did take people off later on. We did slow the pace down quite a lot in the second half anyway. I think he's learned that you can't really run yourself into the ground and then expect them 3 days later to go out and play to the top of their game. Because if we play to the top of our game, we'll beat Fulham.
Yeah.
But if our energies are depleted, then we might make stupid mistakes again like we did against West Brom.
Yeah, I think that's a real... I mean, West Brom is the perfect example, isn't it, recently? The sort of... It's there, the example of what happens, Chris, isn't it? You know, we've seen what happens. You know, you go out there 110% to win a game out of the derby, and then you come up with this game that everyone expects you to win. What we need, what hopefully Fulham is, hopefully West Brom is a lesson that, because I think it's as much energy as, but I think complacency is an issue as well.
I agree with that totally. Look, Rodgers has come out this week and said we're not in the title race. I don't think that Steven Gerrard believes that, or players in the squad, because I think that, you know, 6 points isn't a lot. There's 13 games to go or whatever. They'll be looking at it and thinking, we can't fucking slip up here. Not because they're in the race for the top four, but because they'll be looking further up.
Both those teams at the top, we've got to come to Anfield, so that's 3. If we beat them, that's 3 points less.
Yeah, so I think the squad will be looking at this and we can't fuck up because we have a genuine chance here.
In fact, I think Steven Gerrard was quoted in the papers today saying, the boss has said we're not going for the title, and obviously he's the boss, so we go with what he says. And if he's saying we're not going for the title,
that's basically saying, isn't it?
In other words, he's saying, well, you know, that's the line we're promoting, and we're not going.
Well, I thought I was very impressed with the way Brendan Rodgers asked in fact, he even asked himself the question almost on Match of the Day. You know, because they were talking about the you know, the racing way up to and blah blah blah, and he said, you know, you're just beating league leaders. The questions will get asked. He wasn't being asked the question, but he raised it, and he basically led them down the line of our aim just to finish as high as possible, which is great. But that essentially means that, you know, he knows as well as we do, if we win every game between now and the end of the season, odds are we'll win the league. It's just, you know what I mean? That
makes me really happy.
Well, no,
imagine that.
But what are the odds of us winning every game between now and then?
I remember at the start of last season when he'd just taken the job and people asked him about, you know, what he was going to achieve or whatever. He played down everything, you know, really dampened down expectations and stuff. He's dampening down expectations now, but it's got a completely different feel to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost as if we're saying, oh yeah, we're being a little bit cagey. We know that if we keep winning, we're going to be in with a shot. Not necessarily going to say we are going to win it, because clearly it's a big task to do that.
What do you get from saying that this early anyway? Any manager, if you're Mourinho, Pellegrini,
you're making it up for your own back, essentially, aren't you? We've seen Harry Redknapp do it, and he got away with it because he was Harry Redknapp. I mean, in the media, not necessarily within his own organisation. But I think I think Brendan Rodgers is actually playing sort of pseudo subtle mind games of his own, because when Mourinho comes out and says we're not in the title race, it's fucking ridiculous, isn't it? And the notion that he's basically saying they're a small, you know, underprepared young building struggling side is utterly ridiculous. Whereas
they're not a finished side, are they?
But by no stretch of the imagination. But because they lack, if they had a proper goal scorer in the side, yeah, they would be.
They're done.
But they don't.
Walk the league.
Yeah, exactly. But I think Brendan Rodgers is right to play on his position, and he's right to remind people of where we were last season. There's no one could ever possibly have predicted Liverpool would go from 7th in the Premier League to potential title challenges the next season.
What were the points last season we were behind?
Scandalous. Like, I mean, it's not even worth talking about. Mainly because I don't know what the answer to the question is.
29 points when we last this time last season.
That'll do. Yeah, ridiculous.
11 wins, 10 wins. I mean, off top of the table.
Yeah,
it's just.
Well, that's it. And so I think he's doing very well to sort of downplay. But as he says, you know, and it's I've been saying, you know, you've got the teams to play. It's relatively speaking, it's in our own.
The other thing that's important is that you've just had a really good win against Arsenal. It's not the time to be crowing about going to win the league or anything else. You know, you've got a game coming up this week. You don't want to be walking into that saying, "Oh, we're going to win the league," and then falls flat on your face.
Against the bottom of the, you know, against the bottom.
You really need to be calm.
Well, this is the real pressure on the Fulham game for me, because I was explaining to someone before filming that Liverpool's fan base just swing from just delirium to disaster every other week, don't we? You know what I mean? It's like 1 week it's amazing, we're untouchable with it, you know, it's just euphoric, and then you go and draw the game, and let's let us not forget that like Everton, we beat Everton and then drawing at West Brom. In the last few years, we've lost both of those games. You know what I mean? Whereas we feel as down after taking 4 points out of 6 as we felt taking no points out of 6 in years gone by. So the pressure is on Fulham just to keep.
Well, Stephen Gerrard said again in that article I read today, he said it's no good finishing 5th and going on about how great we were against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely spot on, isn't it? Yeah. You know, it's no good not capitalising on that kind of brilliance by going and then drawing or getting beat by Fulham or Swansea next time up or whatever. You know, you've got to maintain a level of consistency. Our away form is terrible, really. You know, we're not. If you look at our away form, you wouldn't ever talk about the title, you know, because it's not good enough.
Yeah.
But we've still got time to improve that and make it much better. You know, obviously we slipped up against West Brom, and we've seen the damage of that, because we'd now be 7 points ahead of Everton in the race for 4th place, and 5 ahead of Tottenham. God knows how many ahead of United, and we'd only be like 4 points off the top of the table. You know.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a quick interlude from football-based chat.
Why did Dave not like this
trivia question? No. When I say brief, I mean, let's take a lengthy break for this week's trivia question.
It took me about 10 minutes to read that today when I saw it.
Freaking hell, Dave. You've surpassed yourself here. Right, once again, it's trivia question time, so go and bang the kettle on, get your feet up while I read the question.
It's basically our advert break, you do realise that.
Fulham currently have the Premier League's most goals conceded at home, with 25 in 12 matches, while Liverpool are only second to Man City and Arsenal, 26 apiece, having scored 25 in 12 on our travels. So Wednesday promises to be, going by the form book, full of goals.
Now that biff's over, what's the question?
Hang on, there's more biff.
Oh, right, okay.
Our highest scoring top flight game against Fulham was a 7-0 trouncing of the Cottagers under Don Welsh in 1955. Our highest win ever against them was in 1986 when we beat them 10-0 in the League Cup second round first leg. Fulham's go-to guy when the shit hits the fan, Ray Lewington, was player manager that day. But both games were at Anfield. So what is our highest recorded victory at Craven Cottage? So once again, the question is, what is our highest recorded victory at Craven Cottage?
I mean, did you give us the answer there? Was the answer in there?
No.
The key was you have to listen to all questions.
Full questions.
Full questions and stats and everything.
Well, they'll probably go down this season, so.
Answer to that behemoth of a question at the end of the show, of course.
What was the question again?
Fucking hell, I don't know. What is our highest recorded victory at Craven Cottage? There we go. Obviously, Fulham have come off the back of a pretty solid result there, that obviously getting a draw against Man United. Some might say against the odds, but given United's form at Old Trafford, perhaps not so much. The question is, will they be able to replicate that performance? Not just be so close to the last one, but also the playing at home.
I don't think their fans would allow them to just do what they did against United, which was basically to decide there was only half a pitch to play in and stay there.
It was mental, wasn't it? Because literally 35 minutes gone, they parked the bus and they were like panicking, slamming the ball down.
United had 70 odd crosses into and I think Fulham had 3, something like that.
Yeah.
That's just you fans won't let you get away with that. I just can't see that.
But I think the point was raised on Match of the Day too, was to come away from United and Liverpool with 2 points, for example, from those games, and they could even potentially get more.
I tend to think Fulham think they're a home side anyway, that they're good enough to beat people at home, and therefore I don't think they'll go gung-ho and sort of go all out attacking. But I don't think they'll have 11 men behind the ball and as Chris said, they're going to be knackered anyway after what they did at Old Trafford. So, I can't really see them getting away with that. But we'll score an early goal and that'll be that one.
I hope so, but I think you've got to remember as well, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Fulham changed 4 players this week for the first time. They had a couple of new signings in there. They played a 19-year-old kid up front who's never played in the Premier League before away at Old Trafford. They could quite conceivably just bring all the experienced old heads back in if they wanted to. Yeah. I don't think it'd be unfair, but they could do it.
Yeah, they've got room to rotate, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and couple that with the fact that the pitch size is completely different to Craven Cottage to Old Trafford. You have to play 5 at the back if you want to park the bus
at Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford. You can play 4 at the back and park the bus at Craven Cottage if you wanted to. So I don't think they'll set up the same way at all.
Yeah, it's one interesting players. We've discussed them quite a lot, and I've not seen a great deal of them, but I was very impressed with Holtby in the United game for them. He's strangely, he sort of reminds me, he's similar to Henderson. I've actually thought it's maybe with a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more vision or guile, yeah. I mean, that's probably been a bit unfair to Henderson, who I think has got that.
It's a hell of a ball, that first goal.
Well, the ball for Sidwell's goal is astonishing, isn't it? The vision to craft that. I mean, great run by Sidwell Bowlmead, but it's the execution, and he puts it on his toe.
Money.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think he's the key to shutting down, their attacking threat. I'd like to say, but I mean, if you're a Fulham fan and you're watching, let us know where for you that the danger's going to come from. But I mean, I know Mitroglou still wasn't fit enough to start the weekend. I don't know any news on whether he's fit. I mean, you did do the injury table, Dave.
Yeah.
From that, yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, let's hope he's not, because we'd like to see them. I mean, Darren Bent's a weird one. He's one of those forwards who you give him a chance to score, as he proved at the weekend.
He does nothing for the team.
Yeah,
that's why he didn't start, I think, isn't it? Because he's up there. He may score. He does score goals, but he won't fucking put a shot in.
He's scored goals for a long time, as he's had a couple of bad years, really.
Sounds about right. Play Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got that out the way. Played United and scored.
But fingers crossed he's got it out the way. Let's hope it's not his little purple patch. Well, get that anyway.
He's had treatment for
that. At the back of Mike's knee. Anyway, let's get back to Liverpool. We talked on the Final Word show, which has been a disaster. We'll find out what happened. I don't know what's going on with that yet, but the first go at it was fantastic. It was dead in depth. It was interesting.
The best show ever.
And the laptop crashed. So we've got the audio. We'll see what we do with that. Anyway, we were discussing Raheem Sterling, basically how brilliant it is. Rodgers has come out this week, post Arsenal, and basically says he rates him as the best winger in the Premier League right now. Where do you stand on that?
Wow, I didn't know he'd said that, so I've given it no thought. So I fully agree with Brendan Rodgers that he's the best winger in the league right now.
Yeah, I can't think. I mean, I don't know. I think if you count Eden Hazard as a winger, then
I don't.
No,
I'll discount anybody to make my theory come true on this one. Like, I'm quite happy to say he's not a winger.
Whether it's true or not, Dad, he's been phenomenal, hasn't
he? He's been brilliant. I mean, he did, as we said, he came in against Hull, was awful. Him and Moses were just shocking. And then he kept him in when I thought he should have gone out with Moses. No, it shouldn't go how it goes. It's married.
He's got 9 kids.
Anyway, yeah, since he's come back, he's been a revelation. He's actually better than he was when he first came on last year.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't look like a little kid now. He looks like he's got strength. He knows how to use his pace, and he can go past people for fun. He's just been brilliant.
A little bit more composure, and he'd have had
And he's so young that, you know, comparing him to someone like Hazard is pointless. You know, in 5 years' time, let him compare him to anyone, I think.
Yeah, I think what's good as well, because Brendan Rodgers said last season when he said he broke onto the scene, he looked very excited. The time when the kid gets bandied about.
Was it last season he broke on?
Yeah,
was it?
With the Rodgers, because he came in for the Europa League games. It was
I don't know why I had it in my head that it was the year before.
Well, he came. What I mean is he made his first appearance the season before, but he actually became a first team player because we were talking about summer.
Week out, didn't he?
Will Sterling get a look in? Will he go out on loan and basically play through the build-up to the season, didn't he? And then stayed in the team until we got.
He didn't score any goals, did he? When
This is exactly the point.
And now he looks dangerous all the time.
Well, what's interesting so far this season, he's got 5 goals and 4 assists, which is when
How many games?
He's played up 1,330 minutes. Thank you very much, fantasy football, Premier League fantasy football.
About 12 full games.
Good one. Thanks, Chris.
13 full games.
Fast math. If Chris is wrong on that, let us know in the comment section underneath. If you got your calculator.
900 minutes is 10 full games, isn't it?
Anything else? Anything else?
Well, 990 minutes would be 11 games.
Yeah, but like I say, since he's come in this run the last few months, we said this. We were talking after the match on Saturday with Chris, and I said, I think I think he's been our most consistent performer, top level performer. I mean, obviously Suarez is the obvious one to say.
Non-Suarez, consistent performer of the month.
Yeah, obviously Sturridge has been out with injury and what have you, but Sterling, since that, as you said, since that whole game, I just think he's been fantastic. He's gotten better and better to the point at Arsenal where you think maybe he'll come up against the team, and you think about Arsenal, and they've had so many great kids that our kids often look very average when we play against him, and he looked miles better. I think I tweeted at the time, he and Coutinho made Wilshere, and someone pointed out afterwards, Oxlade-Chamberlain, they showed them what real wonder kids look like.
It's true, and was it you that was talking to me about Gibbs at left back and that scenario?
Well, they were meant to. We all thought Gibbs was going to play at left back to combat him, and then we just played Sterling on the left wing instead. Anyway,
Monreal wishes he had played.
Monreal's still in Luis Suarez's pocket, crying. He
wakes up every, he relives that hour every night.
In a cold sweat.
The thing about Sterling which is impressing me is that he's learned from Suarez how to get his body between the ball and the defender, and he does that all the time now, and Suarez always does it, but he's doing that more and more, and when he gets the ball he kills it. He's got brilliant ball control, and he can move away 3 yards and he's gone.
Yeah, no, I fully agree.
And still just, I always go on about it, but his pressing, the more he presses and the more he wins the ball, the better he plays attacking as well. I don't know whether they're in linked or something.
Well, the thing is, he goes in, gets stuck and wins a tackle. The crowd love him even more. So he's got all that, and for your own self-confidence as well, because once he wins the ball, he's past people. He's got that electric pace over a couple of yards. I mean, we discussed this a few times. I thought he was quick but not fast, if you get what I mean, like quick over a couple of yards but probably not got the greatest pace over a long distance. But for his goal against Arsenal, you watch the replay, his run from the halfway line to the box, he's lightning.
He glides though, doesn't he? Sort of glides across it. I tell you what though, he kills himself getting to balls. I mean, he runs with a grimace on his face. Oh, it's really hard. It's like, go on, me. He's like, oh, it's really hard. Okay.
Picked that up from Henderson. Did you see that bit? It's Henderson's head bob, which I love the most. It shows he's really going for it. And there's a run with about 5 minutes to go, and he was like pumping pistons
like
to get to it.
Like he's saying, he runs like a chicken.
A pigeon, that would be like. But phenomenal. Like you're right, he's got at the minute Raheem Sterling. All the criticisms laid at his feet last season. Commitments, power, goals, assists.
The second goal when he had a shot and it was saved and it came back to him. Really cool.
Left-footed,
but no problem.
He
didn't dither or whack it over the bar or anything. Just calm.
A year ago, if he'd have missed that first shot, he'd have passed it the second time.
Yeah.
Whereas he just didn't look up. No, I'll just knock it away.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. Any thoughts on Raheem Sterling? Like I said, I think he's come on phenomenally. Who, if any, are the better wingers in the Premier League right now? Bear in mind that
Hazard doesn't count.
We're completely discounting Hazard for no reason whatsoever. Okay, name me 3 better wingers in the Premier League on form right now than Raheem Sterling.
Who are also shorter than him.
just
struggle with that one.
Okay, we had this on the Final Word show, and you tried to answer it, but then that's all gone anyway, so we can ask the question properly this time. What should Liverpool have one eye on the FA Cup at the weekend?
I personally don't think they should. I know Liverpool go into every competition aiming to win them, but for me the priority has to be getting in the top 4, because we can attract better players. We keep Luis Suarez. It's great for the club's image, great for the supporters, you know. And I think we have to make sure that in one game a week for the rest of the season. I think when everyone's back in Champions League and all the rest of it, I think that would be fabulous. Well, yeah, if we go to Arsenal and we beat them, you know, they're all running scared. Well, fine, I'll love it.
Yeah.
But if we get to Wembley, I love it. But at the same time, if it's a choice between, you know, our small squad getting knackered and just falling at the last hurdle, I'd rather we weren't in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And there's always this thing about the FA Cup, and it happened last time we were there, is the players stop playing once they're in the cup final. You know, and that never happened to Liverpool until that season.
There must be you're saying there's a thought that you're a player, you're thinking, I want to play in this cup final. So you don't maybe give your all in the games, less, you know, you don't want to run the risk of picking up an injury and missing out on it and whatever. Yeah. No, I think it's an interesting point.
The other thing was then is that we weren't playing for anything in the league. We weren't essentially playing for.
We played Arsenal, interestingly enough,
after the League Cup final,
and we battered them. And Van Persie scored in the last minute, and we got beat. And from that moment on, those players gave up on the league, and they gave up on Dalglish's attempts to get them up the table, and they only thought about playing in the cup final.
I don't see that from. I don't think that.
I don't think it will either.
Season,
but you can't say that if we get a bit closer to the cup final itself, that there won't be that, or that the extra games and the intensity and all that won't take its toll on our squad.
No, I do agree. I think the thing with Arsenal at the Emirates. I actually said before the league game, I said whoever loses the league game is probably going to win the cup game.
You said that to me. You said it on Arsenal Fan TV, didn't you?
And another thing a lot of people said was, if you're going to lose one of them, I'd rather lose the FA Cup game than the league game.
I think the point is, I think if we want to beat Arsenal, and I think Brendan Rodgers will, the problem with what we've learned from Rodgers is he doesn't seem to be someone who will. I think he wants to put his best team out every week, and you know, fitness be damned to a certain extent. So I would say this is probably a good game to put Alan in. Fulham, I'd say let's maybe rest Henderson or something like that. Get Joe Allen in the side. Maybe get one of Moses or Ibe or something in just to mix it up a little bit.
You've got to use your squad a little bit over the 2 games. It's three games in a week effectively.
Yeah.
All difficult games. You can't really rely on 11 players effectively to play the majority of those games when you've got other players. I mean, admittedly, we've only got 14 or 15 players effectively, you know, you could play. But he's got to use some of them. Certainly Joe Allen is underused at the moment, isn't he? I mean, there's a temptation to say, we're playing brilliantly, let's keep the same side.
Well, that's probably what will happen, but I think rather than use 2 players against Fulham, maybe 1 against Fulham and 1 change against Arsenal would do me.
Yeah, like I say, I think this is not a bad idea. I think to maybe say, Jordan Henderson, Joe Allen's fit now. Let's get him in. Let's give you a game. Let's give you the game off. The other point is probably as well, if we do it right. And I know our away record doesn't back this up necessarily, but you'd like to think we should go there. If we can get a lead up, then you can do what we did against Arsenal, take those players off, and then you don't have to worry about it. There's no problem there.
Question for you, Paul. Do you know if we're staying down in London? Wednesday to Sunday?
I have no idea.
Because you probably would do, wouldn't you? They wouldn't be training on the Thursday anyway. Friday, Saturday,
I think they would. I think it only takes something like half an hour, isn't it? Actually, you get to play. It's 2 hours on the train.
Oh, they get to play him, do they?
Well, you could. What I'm saying.
Train's only 2 hours.
Yeah, train's only 2 hours. I can't see that they'd stay. I can't see this because you definitely train on the Friday. You're definitely going to train on the Friday, aren't you? Because it's Sunday's the cup game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they come back. They probably come back that night, I'd say, and give yourself the most time possible. But it's an interesting question. If anyone knows any differently, let us know in the comments underneath.
And if they are getting the train, be careful, Lime Street floor is really slippy.
Oh yes. Okay, then let's have some score predictions then, please, Dad. What do you think?
3-0.
Okay, good.
We're talking about Fulham now, aren't we? I'm all on Arsenal game again. I am going to say 3-1.
Okay.
2.
3-1-2.
Liverpool.
I say this all the time. I don't care how we do it. If we win by, as long as we win by 1 goal, I don't give a shit. So let's
That
say,
wasn't the question.
Let's say 2-1 to Liverpool, because we'll obviously concede, because we always do. God, we could just get.
You've got to be really shit to not score against us, Everton.
Let us know your score predictions in the comment section underneath. Let us know how you think Liverpool should line up. Is it time to rotate? Should we have one eye on Arsenal? And what do you expect the danger men from Fulham to be? Okay, trivia answer time. The trivia question. I can't read. I can't read.
Go on.
No, because people will just switch off. What is our highest recorded victory at Craven Cottage? Chris, do you want to have a
10-0.
5.
The answer is 5-2. Back on the 9th of May 2011 under King Kenny, Maxi with the hat-trick, Dirk Out and Luis Suarez. If you got that right, then as ever, your Google skills are beyond reproach. Thank you very much for watching the show this week. We're going to have to re-record the final word show about Arsenal. If you want to go back and have a little bit of a gloat on that, because why not? It was awesome. Do check out the redmentv.com. We're also going to have more content after the Fulham game as well. And as always, 3 exclusive shows every week which are behind the paywall. It's free for a month, and then it's just £2 a month after that if you remotely are. So do check that out. It is always good fun. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe and give it a little bit of a share if you're watching on YouTube as well. And thank you for watching, and good night. Ta-ra.